show up every week, and that's how you can get the most out of the call. So with that, I'll pass the call over to Randy.
Well, thank you. And it is a pleasure to be on the call tonight. I've been with Legal Shield for about 14 years. Started basically full time with Legal Shield in the CDLP division, 2019. Earned the $50,000 ring. We've sold over 1,000 apps, closing in on 2,000. I'm a field trainer here in the area. And I like working the CDL space myself, simply because it is a non-competitive field. The drivers know they need something out there. All we have to do is be a good explainer, I might say, or a good let them know what we do. And if we can let them know what we do, they'll buy the product. We don't have to try to sell it to them because they know they need something. And so it's a matter of educating each one of the drivers with what we do. And once we do that, they normally will buy it. So it's been a lot of fun. And we're closing in on a lot of area this month. And we've been PC qualified for 120 months. And so it's with this space, it's fairly simple to do. All you have to do is get a hold of a few drivers, and you're going to make that PC qualification. And of course, with that, we've been earning the bonus on that for a long time. And so that's just extra money. And I know Miss Sharanda is always out there saying if there's a company bonus out there, why not go and get it? You might as well, right, Sharanda? If they're going to give it away, I'm going to get my part of it. So we got to get that. So with that, I'll turn it over to Mr. Reynolds just a minute here.
All right. Well, thank you, Randy, and congratulations on that PC qualified for 120 months. That's outstanding, brother. Hey, I'm based out of Houston, Texas, and as of June the 1st coming up, will be 15 years. Yeah, it goes by really fast when you're having fun. And I've been a CDLP trainer for almost 11 years now, and been selling the CDLP membership for right at 12 years. And I just get up every day, as you heard me say this before, and I sell the CDLP membership to the drivers. And I go into companies, I call on companies and open groups. And I've been able, by running in the lane of transportation, I've been able to gain the 50,000 K ring and also the 100,000 K ring by selling and running in the lane of transportation. Now, I sell all the different products as I'm running in that lane, but it's just really exciting. That's my go-to marketplace, is transportation. And I've sold over 5,000 memberships, 5,000 and some. I hope to make it close to 6,000 this year. And I'm part of the Special Forces and part of the Solution Emerald Elites. So it's just an honor to be on the call here tonight to give you information, give you nuggets, and hopefully can help you out a little bit, and hopefully you won't make the same mistakes I've made in the past, and you can just capitalize on the good information. So I wonder if John Hoffman is he with us yet? If he's not, I'll turn it over to Mr. Robert Dunbar.
All right, brother. Appreciate you.
All right.
So I've been with the company for about 11 years myself. So 11 years in training, for 6 years training for CDLP, about 3 years, guys. I'm 100K ring earners. I've got 250K ring earners on my team as well. I do work all areas of Legal Shield. So we really see the benefit of selling. We see the benefit of training to help people in the field. And obviously, we just went over all the different ways that we have set up to make sure that we can help you advance. And guess what? None of us are asking for money from anybody to do any of these things. So this is a way for you to get involved and get busy. If you want to use a field trainer, that field trainer talk to you about what that split will be when that time comes. You get rolling in that direction. But other than that, guys, all free information for you to build your business. So we're going to get started here first with Randy, because he's got a handout, something he wants to go over with FMCSA with the declaration, the emergency declaration. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Mr. Randy. And then Randy, you can turn it over to Sharanda so she can go over the updates on the, no, as a matter of fact, you know what, Randy, I'm sorry, let me back up. Let me go out to Sharanda first to go over the update, the group update, and then Sharanda, you can toss it over to Randy to get started on the emergency declaration.
Okay, so the incentives that are still on the table for associates in the solution space, one that they started over for May 1st, and that is the outreach, meaning you can open a group, a qualifying group for this incentive. It must have $50 worth of premium. It must have 2 unique plans. So you can go into a company or you can talk to a driver, and it may be just him. He might be the owner operator of this company and he has no drivers. It could just be him. And you can sell a legal plan and a CDLP plan, and that comes up to $50 and I think 29 cents. Well, that qualifies you for a group in that incentive. And that's 2 unique plans. That's a CDLP plan and that's a legal plan. So, and how that works is at the end of the contest period, they'll take the number of groups you open and they'll multiply by the amount of premium that's in that group. And it's a point system, and it comes in, I think, 5 different levels. But just say the first level is $100 worth of premium. So how that looks is you open 2 groups, and maybe you just wrote a combo plan, or maybe you wrote 2 CDLP plans. However, we'll keep it simple math. So you wrote 2 groups, you opened 2 groups, and one person got a combo in each group. So that's $100 and some change. So that's 100 points. That qualifies you for $100 bonus. But the next level may be 500 points. So any points between 100 and 499 still equals that $100 bonus. So you just go out to the resources on the business solutions and pull the flyer so you'll know how many points that your goal is and how much. I think it's 5 levels. You can earn up to $5,000. So if you have 5,000 points, that'll bring you $5,000 when that pays out. But this is great, guys. I share this because for individuals who's prospecting, how many times have you ran across a company and maybe one guy wanted it? Corporate first, they allowed you to open a group with 1 app. So always, guys, if you run across a company and one person wants it, and the company will allow you to open that as a group account, that's huge. Because what you're doing now is you're saving that driver the enrollment fee, plus you drop his payment down to $29.95 versus $32.95. So, but go ahead one step further. Instead of prospecting that one CDLP plan, serve the client and say, you know what, we're gonna protect you with, we're gonna give you a full protection here and do a combo. But it could be a small business plan. Maybe all you did that day was walked in and saw the owner, shared the program with him, and he said, well, this sounds great. And you actually presented the small business coverage and what it'll do for his DOT violations. And he says, you know what, I'll go ahead and get started. Maybe he get the small business plan. Hopefully you're selling him at least the $99 in the trial defense. But he said, you know what, I got a CDL myself. I'll go ahead and cover my CDL too. That's 2 unique plans, guys. And that's $130 worth of premium right there. Plus $130 plus. So it's about $140 with the trial defense. So just know in this space here, you can open up a lot of groups talking to just one driver if the company's on board to let you open that group. So go be fanatical for the next 2 months and open up a lot of groups, guys, and they'll pay this bonus out. Probably, I don't know, July, August. But take advantage of that. We have ongoing incentives for solutions that just paid out as well. If you never open a new group, that is huge. Work with a field trainer and maximize your profit by earning an extra $250 by opening up a new group if you never open up a group. But on that incentive, it has to be $100 worth of premium. So make sure you pull the flyers, make sure you read all the fine prints, make sure you know what you're going for and what your goal is. There's some other incentives out there. So maybe you go open a trucking company and you make the most premium this month. There's some cash bonuses out there. So go pull the incentives, guys. You can really capitalize on some bonuses in this space. I would say easier than any other industry, really. Because one client, can bring you over a lot of sales. So just think about that. Don't forget to plug into the Blitz tomorrow. Information is out there on Facebook, or check your emails if they send out an email. And also remember to plug into the expo. That's like the news for your business on the solution side once a month. Sort of like the leadership show on the solution side. Okay? So with that, I pass it over to you, Randy.
Mighty fine. All right. Well, guys, there's a new flyer that I'll be putting on the Facebook page here after just a little bit in the files section. And this one is on as courtesy of Miss Jody that's on the call here. She sent this to me and said that we might want to use it. And after looking at it, it involves quite a few states or what have you. And it is a mandate because of the pipeline cyber attack that happened to Colonial Pipeline for gasoline and oil distribution and stuff. So any of your companies that haul gasoline or whatever, this pipeline this cyber attack is over 5,500 miles, and it goes through. It starts in up here. The declaration covers operations in Alabama, Arkansas, Washington, D.C., Delaware, Florida, Georgia, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maryland, Mississippi, New Jersey, New York, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, Virginia. And so it's not just one state that this is affecting. This is going to affect a lot of different areas. And what they've done is they've given a hours of service relief mandate, and they left the mandate out. The 9th of May is when the mandate come out, May 9th. And it is indicated that the relief would be in effect through the 8th day of June, unless they determine that the emergency is over and then it'll quit. But this is a mandate for the hours of service help. And so this is something that is huge to any company that hauls fuel. It's down in here, diesel. any efforts transporting gasoline, diesel, jet fuel, and other refined petroleum products into the affected states. So the cyber attack, they got into the company. I'm quite sure this company, if they don't do a lot of credit card sales, would love to have our new small business cyber attack if they don't have over 12 IP addresses, because this could greatly help them. This is exactly what they were talking about. And they feel it is because of ransomware is the reason that they were indicted. Indicates that it involved the ransomware to hold this company hostage. So this is a cool little paper out there. And thank you, Jody, for sending it to me. I'll be posting it. Y'all be sure to change name and stuff on it. And we'll be posting it in the Facebook page after the call. Back to you, Robert.
Hey, Jody, are you available?
Yes.
Hey, if you want to, I want to see if you want to add anything in there, throw anything in there, because I know you do a lot of, you work with a lot of us and create stuff and give us things and stuff like that, and you don't say a lot on the call. So I wanted to open up and see if you had anything, because I know you post things on the page and you do a lot of different little research things and help putting things together. So I wanted to open up for you.
Oh, thank you. I don't think I have anything in addition to say, but thank you very much. I'm willing to help any way that I can. It's a family, and appreciate you guys.
No, absolutely. I just like for people to, get credit. And I know, of course, obviously, whenever Randy or Sharanda or myself, any of us on here, Lamar, get anything from it, we always give you credit anyway for it. But, I know sometimes we moving so fast, we don't get a chance to bring people up who are actually in the field that doing that research, because we know that's a certain personality type. When you got somebody doing that and help put that stuff together and then getting it out there to everybody, you got all these people using different forms and stuff, but sometimes don't even know where that stuff comes from. Because for those that don't know, and look, guys, Legal Shield does like a ton of things for us, like so much stuff for us. Most of the stuff that we go over on the CDLP Zoom and the stuff that Sharanda's going over on the accountability call and all that kind of stuff, these are things that have been created in the field by field trainers and CDLP certification trainers and people who are out there getting CDLP done. There's not a whole bunch of CDLP materials in Ellis Engage, just because it just haven't been a lot created. So a lot of the things, the clipboards and all that kind of stuff, those are things that people in the field have put together and made available to everybody to make sure that you've got things that you can use out in the field that are effective and up to date, which is so very important. So it's like almost weekly, you guys see that Randy Hooker is bringing up a new form, and he's pulling this information offline, dropping it onto a blank sheet and formatting it so that he can drop it on the Facebook page and give it to everybody, instead of saying, just go to this website and pull it yourself, which is what he could be doing. Hey, here's the link, and then just make it a form yourself. And he knows that everybody can't always do that, which is what we're going to be talking about today on here, like how to do things to be a little bit more professional and all those different things. So I know Randy has got some things that he's going to be talking about. Lamar's got some things. I know Sharanda and Sharon may add some things as well. I may add some things. But we're going to be talking about dress professionally, getting professional copies made, things of that manner. And then I know, Randy, also, we had talked about letting them know different things they can use to reformat, to put their name on things, so that they're not using sticker labels and all that kind of stuff. Because I know, man, you had a discussion about that. So we'll talk to you guys about all those different things here, some automated systems you can use to make things easier for your day-to-day business here with Legal Shield. So I guess we can go right into the copy printers that we haven't heard from Lamar. So let's hit Lamar first, because Lamar said he's got some information on some printers as well, some printing things that we can use to make printing easier and more professional for us. So Mr. Lamar?
All right. Actually, me and Randy Hooker were talking the other day. We thought this might be some great information to share with everyone, because in this day and time, Legal Shield makes available that we can print off things, and we can print off things for our customers. And so Randy gave me some information back in, I guess that was the end of 2018. And I took action on buying this printer. It's a Epson If you want to make a note, write this
Yeah,
down,
make sure you
because
put the
when I
right-
finish, I'm sure you will say, could you tell me what that printer is? It's an Epson ET-4750, and it's a printer that you put the ink in the reservoirs. Okay, so you got there's 4 reservoirs that you can fill up with ink. Okay, so I got this printer on January the 19th, 2019. And when Randy was telling me about this, he said, when you get this printer, you'll print everything in color because it's so cheap. So since January the 19th, 2019, I have burned off 23,916 copies. Okay. And so I paid for this. I think my copier costs a little bit more than Randy's, but my copier is about $450. I figure that I have bought about $40 of ink so far. Okay. And I've bought, I think I projected about 7 cases of paper. So I projected that at about $280. So my upfront cost of getting the printer and for going for that printer, that period of time, I've spent about $780. Okay. Now get a load of this. At Office Depot, if you're going to do a printed copy in color, you're going to pay about 29 cents a copy. So if you want to multiply 23,916 times 29 cents, that is $6,935.64. Okay. And so I've spent about 780. So what I'm trying to show you is I've saved about $6,000 in printing cost by having this printer. And it really makes you look professional when you can print colored copies. And Legal Shield, all of their stuff is in color. And so you print that out. And I mean, you can sit there and I was doing a bunch of printing today. And you just punch the button and here comes a good copy out. So that's the Epson ET. I would highly recommend it. Randy has made a lot more copies than I have. I think he's had his his printer like 2 more years than I did. And he is way up there in the number. But just in, let's see, 2019, 2020 was kind of an off year. Okay. But for all of 2019, for 2020, and for 4 months this year. Okay. So 24, for about 28 months. Okay. The cost of a colored copies should have been around about $6,935, but I only spent about $780. So I figured that I have saved close to $6,000 in copy cost. We wanted to share that with everybody on this call because we're talking tonight about looking professional, acting professional, and presenting materials professionally. So while I've got the podium here, I'll just talk about, it's important that you dress professional. I always wear my Legal Shield. I don't have my Legal Shield shirt on tonight, but I know every day that I go out in the field there, Clarence, I'm wearing my Legal Shield shirt. Okay. Yes, sir, brother. I have walked in Ace Hardware, the post office, Whataburger, and people that are working there see Legal Shield and they call out to me, Legal Shield, I saw your program. I would like to enroll in your program. I was in Ace Hardware and the guy hollered at me like 3 hours over. And he says, I was in a gun qualification class the other day. And he says, I didn't buy the program, but I want to buy it now. I said, well, you just hold on. I'll go out to the car and get an application. And I signed him up right there in Ace Hardware. So look professional. I so happen, I wear the Legal Shield shirt. Some do not, but I do. So you want to act professional when you're going in, presenting, the Legal Shield material and color. It's good to be on this call on Monday nights to really tap into the documents. And Mr. Robert has posted just hundreds of documents in the Facebook that you can actually go in there and click and print that off and present it. I actually made me a calendar of all the different months, and I put it under safety directors, and I have a calendar for each month. And guess what I do? Like road check and this, what is it, driver safety week in July that's coming up. I drop those things as we present them here on Monday night. I'll take that and drag it and drop it into April or drop it into May. Like if it's coming out in July, I'll drop it into June. So I'll have it a month early. And so all of these documents that we're making available on this call on Monday night, I just encourage you to do something like that. Have those. I have a little folder in my documents that says safety directors, and I've got the 12 months, and I just start dropping documents into those folders. And guess what? I print those off. If I'm making live in-person calls, I take those copies with me. I've got a stack of them in my car that thick. And I'll go through there and I'll pull out 2 or 3 different copies as I walk in. And the safety directors and people in those accounts, they really love those documents. It creates a lot of credibility for you when you do that. All right. And then I take advantage, and Sharanda will appreciate this because she does a lot of office work now from her home and her selling. But I'll grab those documents, and if I'm not planning on being in that account for another month or 2, I will email these documents out. Okay. And so you can use it like that. You can email it or you can personally use it. But all of that ties back to this Epson printer that I'm telling you about. And if you're one of these people that make a lot of copies and you're growing your business, and I know everybody on this call is growing your business here at Legal Shield. So I just encourage you to check it out. If you're buying these cartridges, and I've got a HP printer over here, and I must pay $45 for a cartridge to put in that thing. I mean, I was spending a ton of money on printing before, and it's so much cheaper to go this route. And so, Mr. Randy, I'm going to toss it over to you, sir, so you can add more information in here. So if you're looking to upgrade a printer, this is a great time to make some notes. Randy?
Yes, sir. You were driving also to down to Office Depot all the time and spending gas to go get all of that stuff done.
That's right.
So there's a lot more that you add in. There's a lot more that you add into this guy. I got my printer. It's an ET 3750. They also make a 2750 that is fairly economical. I think the 2760 now, it's not the 50, it's the 60. 2760 now is about $275, $280. And I think those are available at Sam's. They just don't print as fast as the 37 or the 47 models. And the 47 has a fax in it if you need a fax. The 37 models don't. The 3760 and the 4760, they're 60s instead of 50s now because that's the new numbers. They've got the new numbers, the 3760. My 3750, guys, I've printed 55,569 copies since the 3rd day of December in 2017. If you multiply that out, if I had to pay the 29 cents that we get the discount, at Office Depot. That would have been about $16,000 for copies. Now you do have to buy the paper, and I use the 95 white that I get at the Sam's Club, and I buy the 5,000 ream box, and it ends up being about a penny a page, a penny a piece of paper, and then the color and the ink and stuff. I buy my ink through Swift Ink, SWIFT, Swift Ink for mine. I can buy 2 bottles of the cayenne, 2 bottles of magenta, and 2 bottles of the yellow, and 2 bottles of black for about $55 to $60 delivered to my house. And that will print about 20,000, 25,000 copies. And so once you buy the printer, it's an initial investment for that printer. Yes, they are more expensive than the $100 HPs that you can buy. But if you make that initial investment in that printer, they will actually start saving you a lot of money and be able to print in color. And it just looks more professional. And I know everyone on here will agree with that if you're printing in color or what have you. And so if you stop and think about that, if you double that printing from HP back to the original cost of 59 cents, that's about $32,000 for those 55,000 copies. So it doesn't take long to figure out. That's why I went to the Epson printers and what have you, because they just save a lot of money, and they're a real clear printer and a quality print copy. And so that, and then of course on dry, as far as the way I dress, I have dress slacks that I wear, and then I wear the shirts that you see me in. This is the shirts that I get that have the open back in them. They're habit shirts, and I wear them in most of the CDL calls that I make. On my groups, like schools and other groups and stuff like that, I wear a suit coat. I may wear a collared shirt and a suit coat. If the person that I'm going to see is a large enough school or whatever, and I know they'll be wearing a tie, I'll have a tie on. And so you have to dress in comparison to what you're calling on. If you're calling on a company that is suit and tie material, you need to be in a suit and tie. The ladies even need to have a business jacket on and that type of stuff. It is imperative that you dress at least at the level of the person you're calling on. It's another part that's a lot of fun to work CDL, because whenever you meet with the drivers, you can wear a polo shirt and some blue jeans, because that's basically what they're going to be wearing. And so you don't want to overdress. I won't go in on a set of drivers in a suit and tie whenever I know they're going to have blue jeans and polo shirts on. So you can dress one level above, and that should be the way you dress whenever you're presenting. When you're calling on a company, you need to dress the same level as they are.
Hey, Mr. Randy, let's talk about, we're selling the CDLP membership out here. Let's talk about doing when we do a group presentation at a trucking company. If you want to talk about briefly what you print off, I'll talk about what I print off, because I actually put a nice little package together with a paper clip. But Randy, why don't you talk first, and then I'll tell people what I do on my package. I'll probably have one laying here somewhere in my office. I'll try to find it. But I actually, if I'm doing a presentation for a big group, I do a lot of printing. Randy?
I use this 9 by 12 manila envelope. It has the paper clip on the clip on the back. And the reason that I use this, I used to use the little folders, 3-tab folders. But the truckers, whenever we're doing trucking, I still use the bifolder for schools and other groups. But in the trucking industry, I have found the truckers like this because they can close it up. and it doesn't fall out. And that's what was happening with the 3-tab folders whenever we were doing presentations. In my packet that I hand out, I have the copy that we get that is the interactive flyer, and it is in the LS Engage. It talks about the commercial drivers on the left side and the life events legal plan on the right side. I have that I hand out. I have a paper that I hand out that has the 7 deadly sins, the 10 serious violations, the 12 new violations, and on the back of it, it has 22 hours of service violations on the back of it. And we put that together and put it in this packet for the driver. Then I have a handout flyer on the member perks that we do, and it explains member perks. And then the last thing that is in my packet is actually the application, and that's the 4 papers that I put in this packet that I hand out. Of course, it has my website and my name with stickers on the front and the back and what have you. I also put on here a sticker with the COVID-19 Legal Shield site, so that benefit site, so that they can follow that. And now that we've got the new one, all of the new packets that I'll be sending out will have the new link to the new COVID. What do they call that, Sharanda? That
Resource Center.
Resource. It's in
Resource
yeah,
Center.
it's in the resource center in
LSE.
Legal Shield at Work. I mean,
LSE.
Prospect Legal Shield. It's
Yeah.
in Prospect by Legal Shield, but it's the new link with all of the newer information on COVID-19. I'll have it on the packet as well. That way, if they see it, they can go to it and check out that. And that's what I hand out. And then, of course, I have my temporary membership kit that I hand out if they buy the membership.
Well, I've seen Randy's package is very professional. I hope everybody's making notes, because Randy gave you some great information. I'm going to show you, in my transportation, I'll probably hand out a lot more than Randy. So mine is a little bit more streamlined, and I know it's hard, well, with a virtual background, it's hard to see. But anyway, I've got a paper clip on mine, and it's got my business card right on here. Okay, so if you're making notes, it's a paper clip with a business card on it. And then I have the brochure with the red truck on it. Okay, inside that brochure, I've got the 1-page application. And I hope everybody on this call has that 1-page application, because it's a great little thing. And I print off all of my applications, okay? And then I have a little cover sheet that goes in there that just kind of outlines the CDL program. So that's in one, okay? And then I have the legal plan brochure. And this is the guy holding the little girl's hair in his hand, doing her hair. All right, that's the legal plan. And I have the 101 reasons. It gives 101 different ways you can use the legal plan, okay? And so I have that. That's number 2. And then number 3, I use the laminate. I buy these, I don't know, I guess there's 100 in a pack or more. The Legal Shield member perks. There's kind of a laminated copy. All right, I have that. And then Mr. Randy had a, I guess, Randy, did you come up with the logos, or did the company come up with all the logos? I guess that was a company sheet, and Randy kind of upgraded a little bit, and it's got here $49 average monthly savings over 800 companies. It's got all of the company logos, not all of them, but a bunch of them here. And that's what I use when I'm standing up in front of a group. Everybody in that room, if there's 50 guys there, or if there's 150, And a lot of these presentations, I guess some of my bigger is like 200 and something people may be there. And everybody that attends gets this copy. Okay. And I've had drivers, they say, well, Mr. Reynolds, I don't think I'm interested. I said, tell you what, I want you to keep that package. Would you do that for me? Put my business card in your billfold and keep that package. Will you do that? Yes, I will. And they'll leave with it. And I get people, I get applications. Mr. Reynolds, I kept that paperwork, and a year later, I'm getting an application in the mail. But that's what I hand out. And so you can see this Epson printer that we were just telling you about, me and Mr. Randy. You can make a lot of copies, look professional, and everybody in the room gets a nice package. Okay. So, Mr. Robert, I'm going to turn it back over to you, but we just wanted to spend just a few minutes telling you guys about the printer and how you can use it, and give you a couple of examples, Randy's package and my package, that we actually use when we're doing bundle selling in a transportation account.
Lamar, is
Yes.
this the one you're talking about?
That's the one. That's the one, Randy. That's it. Yeah. If so, that's one of the perks. I put 2 perk sheets in there, and when I do a closing, Randy, you got that other one? You can show them the one from the one that's kind of a glossy color.
No, I don't have it. I don't have it.
Okay. Well, I use both of those in my presentation, and when I get to the perks, I mean, I do a hard close on the perks. And then I go into the application, and maybe we'll do that for you guys one time. And then I'll do the close on the application. So I'll go through the application on the close. I go through the Legal Show perks on the close. So I have about a 3 or 4 layer close that I use. And actually, it might even be more than that. But I'm telling you, I get an application just about on everybody sitting in that room. Okay. Some of them I can process today. Some I can process in 1 week. Some I can process in 2 weeks. Some I can process in a month. And I give people options. Okay, I know you're just starting this job and you're waiting on a paycheck. So hey, go ahead and fill it out. Put a date on it 2 weeks from now or 3 weeks from now. You want to start your program at the beginning of the month? Put that on there, effective date. So I give them all kinds of different options. And maybe Robert, we covered that one time. That might be a great class that we can talk about. But Robert, I'm going to toss it back over to you, sir.
All right, fantastic, guys. Appreciate that.
Yes.
Thanks for putting all that stuff up there too, guys, and bring it up. So the Epson, I haven't used the Epson yet, and that sounds like some great value, thousands of dollars that you guys are showing up that you guys can save. I see you guys. Some people put some things about member perks in the thing inside of the chat, and I saw some things on YouTube. But just keep in mind, guys, the discount that you get for member perks, the 29 cents, that is the example that Lamar and Randy was just using. Like the discount through Epson is huge than that. It's a lot bigger than that. So I understand you guys have that discount, but getting a home printer like Epson and using that system is a way that you can save a lot more money, like they just showed. I'll be throwing something in the chat when I finish talking on HP. So if anybody has an HP, like I'm an HP person, so I haven't used the Epson program. I actually have an Epson printer, but it's just for pictures. But I have the HP program. So for the HP program, I will throw that link in there for those and then you can choose whichever one you want, because both of them are good programs. So you may, and I don't know which one you can save more with, because the savings that Lamar and Randy just talked about, that is the first time I heard those big savings with the Epson. So I wasn't familiar with that program. So I'm looking at comparing them as well. With the HP Instant Ink, I would suggest that you talk to Office Depot or Staples to find out the best program at the time. Like they have different programs, but what's the best printer? So like right now, the printer that I have, normally they run a special on the printers for HP program that runs anywhere from like $89 to $129. Now they've got some higher price printers that are $200 and $300 that you can use. But I always go to Office Depot and ask them what discount that they have right now on the printer. I have the big multi-function printer. I think it cost me $129 for that printer. And then I bought into the printing program. Now, the way the HP printing program works is you can get anything from about $4.99 up to $20 a month. And they will ship the cartridges right directly to you. So for me, I have the highest price program because I make a lot of copies. So just give you a roundabout idea on how it works. The printer cost me about $130. I have the 1995 program, which gives me 750 color copies a month, and they roll over if I don't use them all. So that means that those come right directly to me. So when I'm using my printer is hooked in with HP. So as I'm making copies, it's communicating with HP. And what will happen is HP looks at your cartridges, and as the ink goes down, they will send you more ink cartridges. I've never run out of ink. So they know exactly what the ink level is, and they will ship you another cartridge. So you don't have to call them. You don't have to go buy any ink. They'll send you the color that you. So if you're running out of magenta or yellow or black or white, not white, but black, magenta, yellow, any of those colors, they will send it directly to you that way. If you're saying, hey, I don't need 750 copies a month, that's totally fine, guys. Go all the way down to the $2.99, the $4.99 package. Now you're talking about $5 a month, and you can get a lot less, and they still roll over. So let's say you had a program for 300 pages or 100 pages, and you're only making copies of 60, 70 a month. They'll roll over. So just keep in mind. So now you got to a fixed cost of saying, I'm spending $4.99 a month to have color copies. And it's good and it's professional. Then when somebody calls you and say, I've got something, or you need to print out FMCSA safety report or something like that so you can have it in front of you, you're not going to Office Depot to pick up 3 pages of a copy of something, guys. It just makes a lot more sense. You're professional, you're working from home. I don't care whether you're using Epson or using HP. It doesn't matter, guys. Have a printer in your home so that you can make copies of things that you need spur of the moment. If one of your accounts call you and say, hey, look, we have an open enrollment tomorrow. You call and just one of those accounts say, hey, well, actually, we're doing enrollment tomorrow. We got about 60 guys who want to come in. What happens if you call Staples or Home Office Depot and they said you gotta put the order in 24 hours in advance? You see what I mean, guys? You don't want to be stuck like that. Don't ever leave your business in somebody else's hands, ever. Always be able to say, okay, stop, make your appointment, get everything set up, and then be able to run your copy and make those folders for those 60 drivers that you may have to present to tomorrow. So you want to have that at your home. It's a business expense, but you can write these things off. So talk to your accountant about all of that kind of stuff. But the reason why I'm telling you to go there and ask about the program is because it evolves so quickly that I don't want to tell you, oh, this is the printer that I have. Because the printer that I have right now is not the most up-to-date printer. I got my printer about 3 years ago. It just still runs, so I don't need to get a new one. But they have a newer printer out that's a better number, that's going to do a better job. So just go to Staples or Office Depot and say, hey, look, I'm interested in the HP Instant Ink program. What's the best printer to get? Do you have any discounts on any printers here right now? Most of the time, Staples, more or less Office Depot than Staples. I know in Canada, I think they've got Staples, though, not HP. I mean, not Office Depot. So I would just say, go in there, ask them that question, pick up a printer, a decent printer, multi-function printer at a good price. Again, less than $150 most of the time. And then they'll give you a little packet for the HP Instant Ink program. They got a little brochure with the information and how to get hooked into it. And then all you got to do is contact them when you get home and say, hey, I just bought my HP printer. I want the HP Instant Ink program. They'll hook you into it and you're ready to go. I'm also going to put in a link, my code for my Instant Ink program. What happens is if you go through my Instant Ink program to get Instant Ink, it'll give you a free month and me a free month. Right? If you don't want to do that, go right in on your own. It doesn't matter. But I do have a referral link that I'll throw in there where you can get a free month, and it gets me a free month if you use that. So that's how you can take advantage of getting some prints done that way. I'm not going to touch on dress code, obviously, because Randy and Lamar did, so we don't need 3 of us to do that, to touch on dress code. But the women's dress code haven't really been touched on as much. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to to Sharanda in case she wants to mention anything for the women on dress code or any other tips that she may have as it comes to being professional.
Thank you, Randy and Lamar. I actually went with Dunbar's a few years ago with the HP. I was that person that ran to Office Depot like every presentation, like every group. I was that person. So that program has really helped me. Of course, now I don't print a whole lot, but back then it did. And I think I have the $19 plan as well. So if you haven't invested in something like that, whether it's the Epson or HP, it will save you a lot of money if you're printing. So I advise you to do that. But I will say for a dress code, this is why I really like CDLP, because I didn't have to get in this, the suits and things like that. So I wore blue jeans and I would wear a polo shirt. Normally my ladies of justice, I didn't wear anything that said Legal Shield because I didn't want Legal Shield to go in the door before I did. So I would wear my ladies of justice because we only have the shield. And then on those days that I didn't wear my ladies of justice polo shirt, I just wore regular, street clothes with my jeans or khaki pants. But with the CDLP space, I wore sneakers, I really was casual, really relaxed, mirror matched them really. Some days when we were prospecting, I would say bigger companies where you're going to see, maybe the safety manager, you might see some HR people. Mainly when you weren't going to meet the owner, we definitely wore our dress clothes. Still, it was blue jeans though, maybe some loafers or something like that. But really, I just branded myself in the market. And I used to wear colorful sneakers. It was something about my sneakers that always stood out. And so that was just a door opener and an icebreaker. Because people, they would always comment on my shoes. So, but in this space, you really can dress down, but still remain professional, because you definitely want the conversation to be about the product, not the products, you may offer, you know what I'm saying? So you definitely don't want, that to be an issue, because most of the time you're definitely in front of men. So you want not to, be unprofessional with too tight of clothes, cleavage and all that stuff, because it, really is it's a male dominant industry. And most of the time that's who's in the room or who you're talking to. So with that, that's really all I have to say about that. With that, Dunbar, you want to close it out? It's 9:35 right now.
Yes, I certainly do. And Lamar, our June was asking too about the 90-day hold on cancellation for drivers, whether or not we were still working on that with corporate. Do you guys have any updates on that, or we still kind of on a standstill with that?
Well, we put in a request, and we know that Daniel Wall is presenting that and trying to work out something, but it would be a great thing. I have a lot of drivers in the Houston market that is going back to South America and maybe gone for 30 days. Some of them gone 60 days. Some of them are gone 90 days. And it would be wonderful if we could put that membership on hold. And Randy and I both have petitioned Daniel Wall to present that to the committee in Legal Shield. So it's still being considered. So I don't have a final answer on that, but it's being considered.
All right, good stuff. Appreciate that, guys. Well, I appreciate you guys all getting this stuff on here. I know a couple people was requesting that we put this stuff on Facebook, and I'm probably not going to, just being honest with you guys. So I would tell you that. I mean, I'm just look. Guys know I'm pretty transparent. Look, you guys are on the call. You gotta take notes. So like certain things we do put in there. We do put PDFs and all that kind of stuff inside the Facebook page because we know that those are things you guys need to grab and pull down and all that kind of stuff. So we get that. But like general information that we just talking about, guys, you got to take notes when you're on these calls because that's why you on them. Like we can't gather all this information and drop it on the Facebook page because now we're doing too much of the work for you at that point. So yeah, you got to take notes, get it. I know that sometimes not Sharon, I'm sorry, Sharon is putting things that are being said in the chat. So we do drop different things in the chat. We get that part, but we can't gather all of this information and then go drop it on the Facebook page because it's just not conducive for us to do that. And we will also still continue with this conversation because of course we're out of time. So we didn't go into the PDF deal that we want to talk about is about knowing how to use different programs to label your stuff online so that you're not buying labels and sticking them so that you can actually have your name printed on stuff. And I use some programs to so do Randy as well. So we're going to be talking about those. So we'll bring those up next week when we've got more time. So just stay tuned for that so we can talk about how to professionally label your PDFs. And again, oh yeah, Vanessa, thanks. This is recorded as well. And it's going to be on the Zoom. So if you guys need to go back and look at this information again so that you can take notes because we're talking fast, then I would suggest you do that as well. But it's really just not a way for us to gather the information and then put it on Facebook. It's just not a way to do that in a professional manner. I don't think it is. But that's it. So if other trainers have anything to mention before we go?
Robert, I put into the chat the new numbers for the Epson printers are 3760 and 4760. The only difference in the two is a fax, and there's roughly $100 difference in them. If you don't need a fax, the 3760 is just fine. They're both about the same speed. It's just the one has a fax, the other one doesn't.
Good stuff. Good stuff. And on the HP side, guys, just when you go to Office Depot or any of that, just ask them which printer because they always update them and make sure you're getting the newest one. And that newest one will have they'll a lot of times they have a discount so you can get that. Randy, you got something else?
If you get your Epson printer at Office Depot, it's usually the 5, 10, or 15% discount because of our discount at Office Depot. So I would highly recommend buying it at Office Depot.
Good stuff. Good tip. 15% tip. Good stuff, guys. All right. Anybody else before we leave? Any other trainers? Going once. Going twice. All right. Fantastic, guys. We'll see you guys here next week. Taranda, remember, she holds the Thursday accountability CDLP. So make sure you jump on that as well. You guys enjoy the rest of your week. And next Monday, same time, same channel. Everybody have a good evening.
Thank you for the platform of knowledge.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Robert.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Great one.
Bye.
Good night.
Thank you.
Great information.
Save some money.
Always good information. Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Hey, thanks.
Thanks for being on.
Appreciate you
You
guys.
bet.
Thank you so much for your platform and thank you for your training.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Have a great evening.
Oh, I know most of y'all left by now, but I'll go ahead and throw that link in the chat too. I forgot to put it in there. The link I'm dropping in there right now is that HP link. So if anybody needs it, it's there. Yeah, I forgot to put it in there.
Well, that way they'll be in the recording on it.
Yeah, it'll definitely be in the recording as well. And I'll put it inside of the description on the YouTube channel too, so they can put it there. All right. Well, thanks for the information. And Randy, I'll get together the stuff too for the PDFs. If any of the other trainers on here have any other methods that you're using to label things, I use PDF Escape. That's free.
I mean, you can use PDF DC is a paid version, and then PDF the Adobe DC, and then there's an Adobe AC, which you can use for free, I think it is, and you use a just go to fill and sign. You open the document in that, you download the program, and then you open the document in that program, and then hit fill and sign, and then click on the little writing instrument, and you can type your name, click where you want it on the flyer, and then write your name, address, and phone number and stuff, and then hit print and save, and it saves it on there. So every time you print it, it'll print out.
Good stuff. Good
Yeah.
stuff.
But that
Yes.
that Epson printer usually comes with 2 bottles of black ink, 2 bottles of magenta, 2 bottles of cayenne, and 2 bottles of yellow with the printer when you buy it. So it'll print hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of copies the first time you buy it.
Mm,
I mean, it comes with it says it comes with enough ink for a year worth of printing for most people when you buy it. And
gotcha.
like I say, with Swift Ink, you buy the little bottles of ink, and you get 2 of each or what have you. I get 2 of each with shipping and all is like $55, which once again prints 20,000 copies in color. And I mean, it's just so economical. It's unreal. I would have never believed. And I did have to replace a little maintenance cartridge on mine after these 55,000 copies. And all you do is unscrew a screw, slide a door, pull it out, put the new one in, slide it in, and it was $15. But I mean, geez, over 55,000 copies, like I say, nearly 56,000 copies. Of course,
Yeah, that's a good deal.
I hand out about 6 or 7 copies on my school districts, and I've got 37 of them, and average 100, 150 teachers per school group. So times 6 copies. I mean, August, I print a tremendous amount of copies.
Yeah. And my copies slowed down too, like I heard Sharanda say, and it's for the same reason, because a lot of my groups like that, a lot of my stuff is government stuff, schools, and that stuff still hasn't opened up.
I didn't print in 2020 like I normally do. So that's the reason. I mean, I would probably be over 65,000 by now if I'd have printed in August like I normally did or what have you, because most of the schools this year were Zooms. So all of the stuff went out electronic. So yeah. So.
Yeah. That was helpful to the printing budget a little bit. I did at least like that break. I don't like the fact that I couldn't get into a lot of my groups, but I did like, because I'm telling you, boy, making all them copies, making all them folders, I did need a break from that, because I've been doing that so long. It's like, boy, I tell you.
Well, but the thing about it is they don't have the copy to take with them, because they're not going to print it.
Yeah.
Therefore, that's the reason I didn't like it. But that's what we had to do this year. But I'd like I say, we print and hand out and get that stuff in their hands, so at least they've got a copy of it or what have you. And of course, I've even started making my own temporary membership kits. My temporary membership kits cost me about 35, 40 cents.
Yeah. Yeah. Frankie Sharp was doing that too.
I buy the number 10 envelope from Sam's. You can buy like 500 for $6. So they're less than a penny a piece. And then I run them through the Epson printer with it in color, and it comes out the color purple on the with the heading and the date and everything, just like the regular one that we get from corporate. And then I've created the stop sheet, and I've got I put another copy of the perks flyer and a referral sheet that asks for referrals for 3 people, my business card, and then I buy the trifold how to use and the stickers, which ends up costing me about 12 cents. So by the time I print it all and put it together, that temporary kit's about 35, 40 cents instead of the $1.75 from corporate.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, that's good stuff. Yeah. And we can talk. We probably need to talk about that next week as well.
Okay,
those temporary kits. Yeah.
sounds good. Y'all have a blessed evening. Talk later.
All right. I'm gonna go ahead and shut this bad boy down.